I was 10 years old and my mom took me to see West Side Story. I watched a lot of the movie through my mother's eyes. Rita was succeeding for her. Rita was singing and speaking and dancing in a way that celebrated my mother's life. The joy in her life as a performer begins to be recaptured on the electric company. She is completely able to play again. She's in a company of people trying to do something good for the world, and she knows it. They're trying to get kids to learn how to read, and she works her tail off every day. It's really hard work to bring together this passionate statement about the place of art and education.
So one of the ambiguities or the torn feelings that Puerto Ricans might have about West Side Story is that how you are represented in that product is not necessarily the way that you might see yourself or would you like to be represented. Gang members for men and overly sexualized women. On the other hand, there were people that watch West Side Story in that period and every time who actually feel connected to the story. And I think one of the reasons that people feel connected is Rita Moreno.
She takes us through sort of the joy and the tragedy of living as a Puerto Rican woman in the United States at that time. And she plays it so well that it's very hard to think of West Side Story without thinking of her and without thinking of her as Anita.
She takes that role that's limited to begin with and transforms it into a showcase for her own talent and resources, like what she has to offer. And in overcoming the limitation of the role and demonstrating the power of a Puerto Rican woman's performance, she challenges the stereotype.
Rita comes loaded to bear in rehearsals. And she's ready. We always joke, watch out, if she has to handle any props, she's going to use them. If she has to break something, she's not going to fake it. There was one dinner scene, I don't know how many dishes she broke during rehearsal. Do you have enough dishes? No, she's always ready. You know, boom.
When she was in electric company, she actually was home a lot. She had it almost was like a normal job, like 9 to 5, and she shot at a studio that was a few blocks from my house. And I was so lucky because I got to go there after school and see Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch. And I used to play in the Sesame Street costume shop when I was like 5 years old. So, oh my God. They were a wonderful couple in many ways and very symbiotic, but they also pressed each other's buttons like most long marriages. And so, yes, I was very aware that it wasn't like a perfect marriage.
I did try very, very hard to get us to go into therapy together. And he was a doctor, and doctors, particularly from his era, didn't believe in that stuff. I did love him, but it became so bad that I began to not like him.
See, I was born in the States, whereas Rita was born in Puerto Rico and lived in Puerto Rico till she was about 5, right? I don't know if she feels this way, but it just feels like you're always living in between two worlds, you know? Like one world doesn't accept you and the other world doesn't accept you. So, you know, you're neither here nor there. So you're not Puerto Rican enough, and you're too American, and over here you're Puerto Rican, and you're not American enough. So that is something that even bleeds into, you know, our industry, because they have an idea of what we are, and their idea is antiquated.